repeat the latter
I'm saying,
part?
did you play any role in the MPP? It just appears to me that you just went and contested election. Were you were you executive? Did you serve any capacity in the party? Did you hold any party position?
Yes, I have, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I happen to be a member of the Finance Committee of the Ashanti Regional MPP Party. That was in 2008 election. And then also quite recently, I was a member of the Sector Manifesto Committee for the Lands and Natural Resources sector.
And I and you and Honorable Esiama also served on the President's presidential primaries. Is that not correct?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I stand to be corrected. I have always been a member of his campaign team in Ashanti region.
Yeah. So I think that if the chairman will agree, you need to resubmit and indicate all these things, because it will also help those who want to write stories about you or write your autobiography to come to Parliament to see what you have done. And in the party, because when people just see you as a member of Parliament going to be deputy minister, they will think that you didn't play any role and the president just liked you and put you there. Or they will use the article in the Constitution that says the majority of ministers should come from Parliament. So you need to do that. Do you believe in any God or...
It's indicated he's a Christian.
I'm a Christian and I believe in only one God.
Huh?
I'm an Anglican.
Very well. Now,
of late, Galamsey has been a topical issue running on media circles. There's a school of thought that Galamsey should be stopped. There's another school of thought that it should be encouraged. What is your view on this particular issue? Thank you.
A menace to our society. In my view, Galamsey must be stopped, and it must be stopped abruptly. And when I say abruptly, I mean quickly. Because if we don't do that, the level of pollution that is going on in our river bodies and also the land degradation that is going on in this country, the rate at which it is happening, if we are not careful, we will end up with a huge environmental issue over our heads to the extent that we will not even be able to contain with. Mr. Chairman, as a result, I, in my opinion, feel that Galamsey must be abolished. Because Galamsey per se is an illegality. It's an illegality. And I don't see why we should countenance illegal activities.
Galamsey is the illegal part, those who have no right to be on the land at all. But the biggest challenge are those the Minerals Commission give license to prospect and to do the small scale. These two, they take a license to prospect, which, according to the Minerals Commission Director, they are only permitted to drill a small hole to determine. They go and they dig huge trenches, open up river bodies, pollute them. Are you going to stop issuing license for prospecting for gold and for small-scale mining?
Mr. Chairman, I am aware that since my minister came into office, he has not issued a single small-scale license to anyone. He has put an embargo on the issuance of small-scale licenses. The next stage, I know, is that soon there is even going to be a freeze on application for small-scale concessions. Mr. Chairman, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Honorable President, to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Honorable nominee, I'd like to know from you, if we discuss the issue about mining, we realize that small-scale mining has been abused in a way. Do you assent to the fact that we should now introduce the medium-scale mining as against a bridge between the small-scale mining and the normal regular mining? Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, having a mid-tier range, which we will term as the medium scale, is the way forward. Because currently there's a thin line between the small-scale legal miners and then also the galamsey per se, who are also doing the illegality. Why? Because the galamsey, as we know, or the small scale, as we know, should be done as an artisanal mining process, where they would only be using shovels, hoes, pickaxes, and others. But currently, the small-scale miners are using heavy-duty excavators. So they are no more small-scale. But our laws does not make any provision for the mid-tier. So you only have a large-scale mining company and a small-scale mining company. So the way forward is to have the mid-tier scale, where we will push all those who are legally mining in a small-scale sector to that medium-scale level. And then we will have our locals and then our community people to carry on with their artisanal mining. So it's important that we have that. And I believe that is the way forward.
You were a member of the National Project Steering Committee for the Land Administration Project. I've been on a member of the Lands Commission, so I know a bit about land. What were the gender issues under this particular intervention? Were there any gender issues under the project, and how would that help you in your new portfolio?
As part of the land administration project, there was the need to factor in helping women to gain access to title to their lands. And also, there was also the need to amend all our scattered land laws, bring them together into one major land law. And in that, there will be a look at the interstate succession law as it stands now, and that is also part of it. Unfortunately, we have not completed the land law, as we all know, but with the inception of this current government, the bill will go to cabinet soon, and then when it comes to parliament, you and I will be involved in it, and where you would be able to factor in your contribution as a gender advocate.
First, let me ask you, what would be your direction to your minister regarding the preservation of Ramsar sites and land banks?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I am going to the ministry if I'm giving the nod from your committee to assist my minister. I know that my minister is very passionate about the environment, and this includes the Ramsar sites. One particular site that I can quickly remember is that of the Sakumono Ramsar site. As we speak now, I'm aware petitions have come to the minister for him to meet stakeholders so that they would come to a conclusion on how to stop encroachment on the Ramsar sites. So definitely I am going to support him on that cause and to ensure that we rid the place of encroachers.
People sitting left and right, they are harassing me in your solidarity. But as a leader, available leader, I'm not a coup maker. Now, you talked about this small-scale mining operations. And you know there is a process of licensing them and granting them the concessions. You said something that is very important, that it is difficult to distinguish between the one doing small-scale mining and the one who is using heavy machinery. Do you think that the law should be changed to make specifications for what type of equipment you can use, and that anybody who has been given a license and does not conform to the use of the machinery, it could be sanctioned and things? Do you support such a view, and will you recommend it to your minister?
There have been an amendment to the Minerals and Mining Act, and that has made provision for stiffer punishment for those who flout the regulations and the law. So I would recommend to my minister that those who undertake such acts are punished.
The MPP in the manifesto on page 90, supporting conservation of biodiversity and priority ecosystems. And you see that you said you will do this by the MPP will extend forestry conservation areas, resurvey and demarcate forests with permanent concrete pillars. And
He wrote that.
huh?
He wrote that.
Yeah, he was on the committee. And support the protection of the remaining network of natural forests and biodiversity hotspots in the country to serve as gene banks for indigenous species and refuge areas for threatened, endemic, and rare species. This is well written. That is the aspiration of the MPP.
Aspiration.
Yes, as a manifesto. But you also know, currently, even the few forest reserves we have, people are mining in there, destroying them. Some people are asking that they should be allowed to go in and farm. What will you do to help your minister to let us keep what we even have before you say you extend?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, it's important that we preserve our biodiversity areas, especially forests like Tiwa Forest, which we all know is very, very important because of the endangered species of trees that we have over there. And as a result of this, it's important that we make sure we really enforce the boundaries of our existing forest reserves. You'll be surprised to know that people are able to move the pillars and bring them in, especially when they get to know that, for instance, a plantation development is going to be taken over there. Even admitted farms, which are in there, are expanding, especially they expand so that they can get more land to farm. Our communities can be allowed to farm, but they can only do that if it's done under the Tunja system or under the HIPIC system, that where they are made to do it in terms of agroforestry. As they are planting crops, then they are planting trees. Yes, but then even that, they need to be supervised. Otherwise, they will end up planting tubers like cassava and yam, which is not good for tree cultivation. So it's important that we preserve our biodiversity areas.
Now, the MPP wants to do some interesting projects. That is to encourage people to get freebie to, according to them, how beehives will be made available for forest fringe communities in the next 4 years. When are you going to start this project, and where will the beehives be?
A 4-year mandate, so gradually we get there. But bees are important because we need them so that they will aid in pollination.
You know, we came to Parliament together. And no, and at one time you were the president's MP. Mm-hmm. Now, luck has smiled on you. I wish you well.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I had the privilege to serve with you on the Public Accounts Committee, and you are a senior member on that committee. I have no doubt that you performed to expectations, so congratulations once again. And Mr. Chairman, you know he's from Bekwai, and he's my uncle, so I have a vested interest. No question for you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have one question for my good friend. LAP, the project, sought to bring land sector agencies together so that we'll have one-stop shop. Do you think LAP has been able to achieve that? If it has not, what do you think we should do to ensure that that objective is fully achieved? So land titling or registration can be quickened for us.
Chairman, in our manifesto, our party made mention of the fact that within the 4 years that we are given, we would help to ensure that land titling registration is reduced to the barest minimum of 30 days. And that is what our manifesto says. Mr. Chairman, once it's a manifesto pledge of ours, we are going to ensure that we do that. Currently, we have identified the stumbling blocks that exist in that sector, and most of it have to do with digitization of the existing system, because they are still doing the manual work, manual writing, manual drawing. And if we really want to achieve the 30-day ultimatum, then we will need to assist the Lands Commission to digitize their maps and all their records. Currently, the Land Administration Project, the LAP, which is at Lab 2 now, has almost ended. And in fact, it ended on 28 February of this year. The ministry is in talks with the World Bank for the World Bank to assist us to extend it by having a lab 3, which, God willing, it will be approved, and then we can carry on from there.
Okay, thank you.